Welcome to the Friday edition of Bible Time, and what a great trio of Psalms we've got to end our week with. We're looking at Psalms 44, 45, and 46. And 44, Psalm 44 starts off with praising God for what he had done for Israel in the past. Verse 1 says, "O God, we have heard with our ears, our fathers have told us what deeds you performed in their days, in the days of old." And it goes on to talk about what he did in bringing them into the land and establishing them. Verse 8, "In God we have boasted continually, and we will give thanks to your name forever." So it's a great beginning, praising God for all that he's done for Israel in the past. But, verse 9, "But you have rejected us and disgraced us and have not gone out with our armies." Most likely, what this is a reference to is the time that Assyria came and took the northern kingdom of Israel away. Remember, there was a divided kingdom, a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. Northern kingdom, commonly referred to as Israel, southern kingdom referred to as Judah. This is written by sons of Korah, Levites. They're there at the temple in Jerusalem, and the northern kingdom was defeated, taken away by Assyria, and eventually Assyria came and was knocking on the door of Jerusalem and threatening them as well. And that's most likely what the rest of this psalm is referring to. Verses 20 through 22 says, "If we have forgotten the name of our God or spread out our hands to a foreign God, would not God discover this? For he knows the secrets of the heart. Yet for your sake, we're being killed all the day long. We are regarded as sheep to be slaughtered." That's a familiar phrase. You might remember that from Romans 8. But anyways, they're being tested. They're being tried. They're being corrected. They're being refined, the southern kingdom here, as they see what's going on there. But they end up by appealing to God's steadfast love. "Rise up," verse 26, "come to our help, redeem us for the sake of your steadfast love." And God did that. God did deliver them from Assyria, and Judah enjoyed many more years living in the land before they finally fell to Babylon. But this is most likely what's happening at that time, and you can see they're kind of struggling with, "God, you've helped us all so much in the past. What's going on now? We don't quite understand it, but we recognize that you're testing us, you're refining us, you're correcting us, and we're going to look to your steadfast love." That's great counsel for anybody living in this world today. And actually, the answer, the ultimate answer, comes in the next psalm, Psalm 45, which is clearly referring to the coming of the ultimate king, the Messiah. If you just look at it in verse 6 and 7, we can see that this is referring to much more than a human king. This is referring to a divine king. In fact, it says that in verse 6, "Your throne, O God, is forever and ever." It's a divine kingdom. It's an eternal kingdom. It's a kingdom that is known for righteousness. The scepter of your kingdom is a scepter of uprightness. It says there in verse 6. And here's the point that tells us this is a reference to the Messiah. Verse 7, "You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore, God, your God, has anointed you with the oil of gladness beyond your companions." Anointed. That's Messiah, means the anointed one. And so this is a reference to the time when the Messiah is going to come and rule, and he's the king. And when it refers to his bride, that would be his people, his faithful people. The Old Testament Israel was often referred to as the bride of God. And that's what you see here. And it's going to have a worldwide impact. So this is a reference to the coming Messiah who's going to come, who's the ultimate answer to the request at the end of chapter 44, Psalm 44, is the ultimate coming is in the Messiah. And then Psalm 46, maybe one of the more familiar Psalms, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." So yeah, while we go through this life, there's trouble everywhere, but God is a very present help. He's a refuge, a very present, meaning that he's always available. He's always available. And we are waiting, we are looking for him to come and establish his rule on the earth. Verses 4 through 7 kind of describe that. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God. And you might remember the account in Ezekiel talking about a river that's going to come from the temple and go through a canal that's going to be in the Mount of Olives, and it's going to go all the way down to the Dead Sea, bringing life to the Dead Sea. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. The nations rage. The kingdoms totter. He utters his voice. The earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. You might think of the song written by Martin Luther, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God." And so here what we see in these Psalms is a trust in God, a remembrance of his goodness and grace and faithfulness in the past, and trusting him in the present situations, looking to him for refuge, recognizing he's always there, appealing to his steadfast love, and looking to that day when the King of Kings will rule upon the earth. And so it ends, verse 10, with this well-known verse, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." Verse 11, "The Lord of hosts is with us, the God of Jacob. He is our fortress." Be still. Another way you could say be still is RELAX. 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 God's got it all under control. His kingdom is coming. He's going to rule this earth. And relax and know that I am God. Not just know about God, but actually know him in a personal, experiential way. Is that you today? Do you really know God? Because if you do, then you can relax and be at peace. He's a refuge. He's a very present help. And the day is coming. The day is coming soon when he will return and rule on this earth. That will be a kingdom of righteousness. That's what we're looking forward to. What a great way to start off our Friday looking at these great Psalms. I trust that you'll have a great weekend worshiping the Lord. Hope to see you at church on Sunday. And we'll be back next week with more Bible time.